This is the complete gearing guide for Druids in Phase 1 of Season of Discovery. This is not going to matter if you are Alliance or Horde, I've got you covered on both sides. This is going to show you pre-raid gear and best in slot gear once you have been raiding, and it's going to be for feral DPS, tanking, healing, and casters in balance. Starting off with feral, tanking, and DPS pre-raid gear, this is what we're going to be going with. On the head slot, we have the Resilient Cloth headband here. It is going to be a PvP one, and it has 50 armor, which is better for tanking. If you are DPS, however, there isn't really anything better unless you have engineering. On the neck is another PvP piece. It's called the Scout's Medallion. It gives you 6 agility and 2 stamina. If you are Alliance, it's also then called the Sentinel's Medallion instead. For the shoulders, these are going to be a bind on equip item, however they are green. These are made by Leatherworking. I didn't really want to include any bind on equips here because they can get very expensive. However, you should yourself be taking Leatherworking for these gloves over here that we're going to be talking on in a minute. If you don't want to get the bind on equip shoulders, there is the Feline Mantle from Shadowfang Keep from Nando's boss. Has 10 intellect, 3 spirit, and 2 agility, so they're not very good. There really is not much on offer for us in feral, whether we're tanking or DPS, before we actually start raiding. The Sergeant's Cloak here is fantastic. This is a PvP one. If you've watched my Things to Do First at level 25 in Season of Discovery video, this is explained fully in that video. If you haven't watched it, check my channel out and have a look at that. The Blackened Defias armor on the chest piece is from Edwin Van Cleef himself in the Dead Mines. By the way, the back piece that I did just mention, the quest that starts this is actually from Edwin Van Cleef, so must go to the Dead Mines here. If you are Horde, on the bracers, we have the Black Wolf bracers, which are going to give you stamina if you're looking at tanking. These are also from Fenris the Devourer in Shadowfang Keep. And then if you are looking at going feral DPS, we can take the Loam Flake bracers with 5 agility and 3 strength. This is from a quest in Thousand Needles called Protect Kanati Grey Cloud, again in Thousand Needles. If you are Alliance, we can use the Crystalline Cuffs, which are from Ragefire Chasm, but that I understand that could be difficult to get to, so you could just go for the same ones I mentioned before, whether you are tanking or DPS, which is the Black Wolf bracers from Fenris the Devourer in Shadowfang Keep. Oh my god, that was a mouthful. So going on to the hands, we've got the Void Touch leather gloves. Now, these are going to require leatherworking. I do really recommend that if you're a cloth wearer, you take tailoring, leatherworking for leather, blacksmithing for mail, etc. Because these epic gloves, basically, you can only make them if you have the profession yourself. It's a long quest line. It's in that video I previously mentioned, what to do first at level 25. This is a quest line that does require you to go into BlackFathom Depths, but not kill anything. And these are going to be absolutely used by everyone that is a leather wearer. They are phenomenal. Bit of a long quest line, but incredibly worth it. And doesn't require any raiding. Going on to the belt then, if you are Alliance, you've got the Windborn belt with 6 agility and 5 stamina. This is from High Perch Venom in Dust Mallow Marsh. This is a quest. And then if you are Horde, it's going to be the Deathkin belt from Janu of the Earthen Ring in Ashenvale. These belts pretty much stay best in slot actually after you've been doing raiding as well. So I really do highly recommend getting these. Leggings of the Fang then from, of course, Lord Cobrahan in the Wailing Caverns for the leg slot with 5 strength, 4 stamina, and 9 agility. That is going to be the same if you're Horde or Alliance. Warsong boots if you're Horde, with these ones, they are from Warsong Supplies. If you are Alliance, then unfortunately we're going to have to go with some green boots, which is from a quest called Mortality Wanes, and these are going to be not as good, putting it simply. However, if you are Alliance, we do have access to this best in slot ring here, the Seal of Rin. It's going to be best in slot for raiding as well, no matter what class, what spec you're playing, and this is from a quest that is actually started from Edwin Van Cleef's body when you kill him in the End of the Dead Mines. This is called A Letter Unsent, and yeah, it's best in slot across everything, but it is only Alliance, unfortunately. And then the second one that you can get, no matter what race you are, is Silverlane's Family Seal, which is from Baron Silverlane, again in Shadowfang Keep. If you are Horde, the other one you're going to want then, instead of the Rin's Seal, is going to be the Legionnaire's Band. This is a PvP ring that you can buy from PvP vendors. There is also an opposite one for this on Alliance. If you haven't got the Seal, or if you haven't got the Baron Silverdale one, you can also get the Alliance one from this as well. It's specifically from the Warsong or Sentinel Reputation vendor in PvP. And then going on to trinkets, it's going to be the insignia of the Horde or Alliance. Alliance and the Rune of Perfection. These are also from PvP. There really isn't many other trinkets out there for us. Going then on to the absolute best in slot once you have been raiding. So looking at DPS first, on the headpiece, we've got the Artemis Cowl. Equip is plus 24 attack power. This is from Lady Severus. For tanks, you're going to want the Twilight Slayer's Cowl from Akumai. On the neck, it's going to be the High Tide Choker from Baron Aquinas for DPS, and the Glowing Fetish Amulet from Twilight Lord Kelris for tanks. On the shoulders, you can get the Sentinel Pauldrons from Akumai. However, if you are super duper rich, you could then go for the Mantle of Thieves, which are a BOE, and these are good for tanking and DPS as well. The Sergeant's Cloak absolutely stays best in slot for everything, again across all classes, before and after raiding. On the back slot, for the chest piece then, it's going to be the Twilight Slayer's Tunic for DPS. This is from Gellerhast, etc. and Twilight Lord Kelris. 6% drop rate on that chest here in BlackFathom Depths. And then if you are a tank, we can go for the Hydra Hide chest from Akumai. It's a 13% drop chance. Again, these are going to be similar. If you are DPS or tanking, you can swap between either of these pieces, but I'm just showing you the absolute best in slot. It's going to be the same item for the bindings of Secrelis if you are tanking a DPS, and same with the weapon, the Fist of the Wild, which is amazing, plus 59 attack power in Cat Bear and Dire Bear forms. This is from Jorgus Jet in BlackFathom Depths. Again, it's of course going to be these epic gloves no matter who you are, and same with the belt. This stays from pre-raid, best in slot, whether you are Alliance of the Windborn belt or if you're Horde of the Deathkin belt. That's what we're going to be using here. Troll's Bane leggings, another BOE here that will be best in slot on the legs, and then again it's the Twilight Slayer's footpad from a lot of different bosses in BlackFathom Depths for here. Again, this is the same if you are DPS or tanking. If you're Alliance on the rings, then stay with the Seal of Rin. However, if you are Horde, you'd then swap this out for the Band of Deep Places, and then you can keep the PvP ring, I would say, for best in slot no matter who you are. Then on the trinkets, apart from the PvP one, which is the Rune of Perfection, no matter class or race, there's these Void Pearls. For tanking and DPS, it's going to be the Avengers Void Pearl with 18 attack power. There is also an Acolyte's Void Pearl if you're a healer or caster, and then there's the Invoker's one, which is a general one. But for us on Feral, we are going to be wanting the Avengers Void Pearl, which is a trinket dropping from the Heart of the Void in BlackFathom Depths. There is also this range slot one that we can get, which is called the Mind Expanding Mushroom, which adds 5 spirit. It's the only thing we can really put in there. It's not really great for what we're playing here, but it is from Lorgus Jet in BlackFathom Depths. It's much better given to somebody else in your raid. However, if nobody else needs it, you can put it in there. It's just not going to be very useful for you. Now moving on to balance and healing. First of all, of course, let's look at the pre-raid gear we can get. Now, some of this, because it is very intellect-based, is actually going to be cloth, and some of it is going to be leather. I'm assuming in future phases, we're going to be able to go a lot more leather, but at these low levels, there just isn't enough of it available. So looking at the head, we're going again with the Resilient Cloth Headband and Sentinel's Medallion again. The shoulders are from Nando's in Shadowfang Keep. Again, Sergeant's Cloak. The robes of Aragol are also from Shadowfang Keep, Archmage Aragol. So these cuffs are from Ragefire Chasm, which is a lot more accessible for the Horde. If you are Alliance and you think, oh goodness gracious, I'm not doing that, there is actually some bracers as well from Shadowfang Keep, and they are these ones here. These are the Black Wolf bracers. The Emberstone Staff is from Captain Greenskin in the Dead Mines. This is pretty good. So all of this is applicable for Alliance and Horde, with the Sentinel's Medallion actually being called a Scout's Medallion if you are on Horde. The Void Touch Leather Gauntlets are again the leather versions of the epic gear. If you don't want to get these, then I would recommend the Serpent Gloves from Wailing Caverns. Aragol's belt, again Archmage Aragol in Shadowfang Keep. These are for Alliance only, the Nightwatch Pantaloons, and it's from a quest called Morbant Fell in Duskwood, and these are pretty good. If you are then on Horde, I would recommend the Sacred Burial Trousers. These are from the Battle of Hillsbrad quest in Hillsbrad Foothills. Again, there is the Spider Silk Boots. These are good if you're not taking tailoring to get the extra planar Spider Silk Boots. If you do want to get either the hands or the boots from the profession, as a healer or as a balanced druid, I'd recommend getting the tailoring boots over the leatherworking hands. And because they are void unique equipped, you can only wear one of them. You can't wear both. So choose wisely on that. Going on to the rings then, it's going to be the PvP ring for Alliance and Horde, and then Seal of Rin for Alliance, with this Dead Mines ring from Gilnid being the Horde one that is easier to get. It's not amazing, but that's what we can get. Trinkets then, it's going to be the PvP one ones as well. Finally, moving on to the best in slot for healing and balance. Again, a lot of it is going to be cloth. So head is from Lady Severus, net is from Twilight Lord Kelris. The Magician's Mantle are BOE. These are going to be very expensive, but again, they are the best in slot. Sergeant's Cloak, of course, being a key back piece here that we're always going to want. And then Twilight Invoker's Robes, I think are from, they're from Gellerhast, or I thought they were from Kelris, they're not. The braces here are from Lorgus Jet. This amazing staff that we've seen before, this is from Lord Twilight Kelris. Lord Twilight Kelris again on these gloves here. And the Ancient Mosh Cinch is from Akume. Soul Leech's pants are going to be from Akume as well. And then, of course, there's the tailoring boots that I just spoke about. These are going to be the best ones. If you are Horde, then there's the Signet of the Twilight Lord from Kelris. And then you've got the PvP ring. If you are Alliance, I would say get the Twilight Lord ring and then get Rin's Signet. And then for the trinket, you're either going to use the Invoker's Void Pearl if you're balanced, or the Acolyte's Void Pearl if you are a healer. Both of these are from the Heart of the Void in BlackFathom Depths. And the other trinket is going to be either the Insignia or the Rune of Perfection. It doesn't matter which one you take. And that is it. That is taking a gear completely as a Druid, no matter what your spec or your role is in phase 1 of Season of Discovery. Hope this was really useful for you guys. I know there was a hell of a lot of information in here, but I really wanted to make sure that this is available for, you know, all kind of specs and for Alliance and Horde, while prioritizing things that are actually a bit easier to get rather than just everything being super expensive, bind on equips, etc. If you did like it, then please click that subscribe button and leave a thumbs up. And if you would even like to, we have a Discord with loads of WoW players, and you can even join my Patreon if you want these videos earlier than everyone else.